All right. So welcome everybody, and thank you to this bookings basic training. This is going to be hopefully getting your the rest of your February and your March into order. So for any of you guys that don't know me, I'm Tara Fonts. I am all of your upline director, and I'm an advanced director. I've been with the company for 8 years, so I'm the most seasoned consultant in this whole entire group. Hi, Christy. Thanks for joining in. And Ellen Jones is a newly promoted director in our organization, and she is going to, oh my God, Brianne, you had to bring the baby on. Now we got all baby fever. But Ellen is going to go ahead and lead us tonight with this training, and then next week I'll take over and take the training next week. So go ahead, Ellen.
Okay, so let's start, just so we all know each other, let's start with introducing ourselves. So as Tara introduced me, I am Ellen Jones. I believe the newest leader, yes, on our Team Mimosa organization, in our Team Mimosa organization. I have been with Pampered Chef for over 3 years now, just over 3 years, and love it. Started so that I could have something for me, and that's still my primary reason, as I am a mom and a wife and a caregiver to my dad with Alzheimer's, with other help that we have here. It just gives me something that's just for me. So so if we can just move along. Let me see if I can. Okay, so I see everybody. All right, so let me just call names, and you guys can introduce yourself really quickly, just maybe your name and how long you've been with us, and then we will go ahead and jump on in. How's that? Okay, so Wendy, I see you first up there. Well, I see the ceiling maybe. Are you there, Wendy?
Yes, I'm here.
Okay, all right.
My name is Wendy, and I've been with Pampered Chef since October of last year, but I have been buying it probably for at least 15 years or so.
All right, Wendy, long-term shopper. Yay, okay.
Yes.
All right. Thank you. Susie.
Hi, I'm from Kokomo, Indiana, and I've been in Pampered Chef since I think the last of October. I have been a consultant before. I didn't get real far, so I'm hoping this time I go a little farther. And I have been buying Pampered Chef for, well, I have a set of pans that I need to replace that are probably 30 years old, 20 or 30 years old. They're pretty old. So
nice. All right. Well, thank you for joining us. We appreciate you being here with us, Susie. Megan, you're up.
So I'm Megan. I have been with Pampered Chef almost 3 years. March will be 3 years for me.
Okay. All right. Thank you. Lynn?
Hi, I'm Lynn. I just started with Pampered Chef at the end of October. So I've been buying Pampered Chef for a good 25 years or so.
Awesome.
I love cooking and I love the product, so it just made sense and it clicked to me. This was something for me.
Awesome. And you have different color
I was waiting for you to make fun of my hair.
Okay. I remember meeting you at Tara's house. Looks good. I like it. Okay.
Out with the purple and with the blonde.
All right. All right. Jessie.
I'm Jessie. I've been with Pampered Chef for a few months since beginning of October. So.
All right, and you have friends there with you. You have furry friends.
I do. I have 2 of them here. Well, my dog's on the couch too.
Oh, well, there you go. Well, the reason mine isn't right here is because the door is closed. Okay. Thanks for joining us. Anna.
Hi, I'm Anna. I'm an advanced director with Pampered Chef, and I've been with the company for 3 years. And I joined on my very first Pampered Chef party ever.
Ooh, neat. Okay. All right. Thank you. Okay. And this just says client. I know that's not your name. The blue shirt.
It's Debbie.
Yay! All right.
Hello, I don't know why it came up like that.
That's okay.
I am coming up on just about a year. I think it was the end of March. So, and I sold also a long time ago.
A long time
So,
ago. Okay.
Debbie, what's your last name?
Zayer, Zerrr.
Okay.
All right.
Thank you.
Welcome. Thank you for joining us. Shannon.
Hi, my name's Shannon Kohlmeyer. I've been with Pampered Chef for a little bit over a year, and I hit director, I think, September? I don't even remember anymore. But yeah. Okay, Kinley, thank you for your input.
All right. Brianne.
I'm Brianne, obviously.
Uh-huh.
I am an advanced director, and I started a year ago in November, I believe.
All right. And you have to introduce your little friend to everybody.
This is Griffin.
We all know who he is, but he's adorable. All right.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you. Thanks for joining us. And Christy.
There we go. New computer. I haven't figured it out yet. My name is Christy. I've been with Pampered Chef probably going into 4 years, Tara, I think.
Yeah, I think it's 4 years.
4 years.
Awesome. Awesome. Okay. All right. Did I miss anybody? Those are the only people I see on my screen. So,
Yeah.
All right. Cool. Okay. All right. So we're here tonight, and fellow leaders that are here, at any point, if you feel like there's something you would like to add, feel free to chime in. But we're here tonight and next Monday to talk about the basics of bookings. So we are going to start with, why do we need to make contacts? And I'm going to ask you guys to talk, because I don't want to talk for 30 minutes. That's not, I could, but I don't want to. So why is it that we want to make contacts? Why do we want to, well, first of all, why do we want to have bookings?
To get sales.
To get sales. Okay, good. To get sales. That's not the only way we can get sales, but it is a way that kind of puts us in front of more people. If we have a show, then we know there's, you know, more people than an individual sale or something like that. So we want to have sales because we are a direct sales company, and that's what the reason that most of us joined is to earn some sort of commission doing something. So, and if we don't have bookings, and we don't make our contacts to get our bookings, what typically happens to our business?
It doesn't go anywhere.
It doesn't go anywhere. Very good, Susie. Brianna's got her thumb going down. So it doesn't go anywhere. It's stagnant, or it just fades away to nothing. So we want to make sure that one of our daily practices to keep our business's momentum moving forward is to make contacts and make bookings, or get bookings and make contacts. So, I'm sure most of you have heard, but just in case everyone hasn't heard, there is proof that what we do now impacts our business 30, 60, and 90 days down the road. So if we decide that we're going to take some time off and not make our contacts, or we just don't, feel like we need to work on our bookings, you can pretty much track when you take a chunk of time off and see how that impacts your business, 30, 60, 90 days down the road. And I know I can speak to that personally. So we want to make sure that we are always keeping our bookings and our contacts kind of in the forefront of our mind, because really they're like the nitty gritty of our business. But it's not the thing that we like the most of us. Speak for myself. So it does take some discipline. Like, it takes some discipline and some structure to make sure that we don't let it slip between the cracks. All right, so if you dig down, and I'm not asking you to share with us, if you want to, you can, but you don't have to. But if you really stop and you evaluate your business and you see where it is and how many parties you have for this rest of February and March, which is what we're working on, I want you to think about it and be honest with yourself. Are you making your daily contacts to get your bookings? And like I said, you don't have to answer. This is like, you know, inside your mind dialogue. Are you making those contacts? Do you really and truly feel like you are putting in the time to make the contacts? And then as we talk about making the contacts, are you tracking them so that you remember who it is that you know, messaged or contacted on a day-to-day basis? And then my last question is, if you're doing those things, awesome. Are you reaching out to them a second or more times if they don't get back to you? Or are you kind of just, oh, well, they didn't get back to me, so, you know, that must mean that they're not interested. Are you making that assumption? So those are just some questions for you to ask yourself about your business to kind of check where we are and what it is that we're going to be talking about for the next couple of weeks. So, as I mentioned, we all joined Pampered Chef to get something that we needed, whether it was to get out of the house, whether it was to, you know, have adult contact, whether it was to make some money for vacations for our family or to pay off debt. We all joined Pampered Chef for a reason. And you know what that reason is in your heart of hearts. You know what it is. But the bottom line is that you had a dream or a vision, okay, for what you wanted your Pampered Chef business to do. And if it's not doing that for you, you're really the only person that can control that. You have complete and total control over that. And that control starts with making sure that you are taking the steps daily to grow your business and keep it moving in the direction that you want it to move in. So I'm reading a book right now by John Maxwell called The 15 Invaluable Lessons of Growth. And I wanted to read a quick poem to you because I just read it this morning and I was like, oh, this works. So he says, several years ago, I came across a piece called Dream Big, and it's full of encouraging words that also captures what it takes to follow your dreams. It says, so this is the poem. If there were ever a time to dare to make a difference, to embark on something worth doing, it is now. Not for any grand cause necessarily, but for something that tugs at your heart, something that's your aspiration, something that's your dream. You owe it to yourself to make your days here count. Have fun, dig deep, stretch, dream big. Know though that things worth doing seldom come easy, there will be good days and there'll be bad days. There will be times when you want to turn around and pack up and call it quits. And those are the times that those times tell you what you are that you're pushing yourself and that you're not afraid to learn by trying. So that kind of resonated with me because we all have those moments where we're like, I just don't want to do that. I don't want to do that. And contacts for me are frequently that thing, like I just don't want to sit and do it. But we have to, because if we don't, our business is just going to kind of fizzle out, or it's certainly not going to take us to the levels that we joined Pampered Chef for. So does anybody have any questions or comments or thoughts about any of that so far? And this is really informal, so if you have something to say, just raise your hand. Leaders, anybody else? Nope. Okay. All right, so let's talk about the nitty-gritty. So how do we do contacts? Tell me what are the ways that we make our contacts? How do we reach out to people?
Message them through Facebook.
Okay, so Facebook Messenger. Thank you, Susie. That's one on my list.
Text, calls, previous customers.
Calls. Okay, so call like actually on the phone.
Yeah, old school.
There you go. Old school calls. What else?
I think she said text too.
Oh, I'm sorry. I missed that. Okay, I was chatting.
She cut out when she said it.
Okay. All right. So we have texting, Facebook Messenger, and calls. What else?
Email?
Email. Email is something that we sometimes discount, but it can be really effective to use to reach out to people. And then the last one that I thought of, that doesn't mean it's the only, there's the only ones, but one that I thought of that we frequently forget about.
Face-to-face.
Face-to-face. Thank you, Anna. In person, face-to-face. Okay, so Anna, I just rewatched your 5 a day the effective way, where you were talking about having the mini catalog with the post-it note on the front of it, so that when you're out and you're telling people the best kind of salsa to use. I'll link that because that was actually
Lynn's Texas salsa, by the way.
There you go, Texas salsa. But I was watching that because that is one of the ways sometimes we, we're kind of terrified of it. But it can be super effective if you watch what's going on and kind of make those connections with people. And then of course, when we're at in-home parties, we can connect with them, or other ways if we're on the soccer field, things like that. Okay, so those are the ways that we can physically contact people. So let's talk about how we keep track of those. What are some of the ways that you guys, and I did ask Shannon and Brianne are going to share with us their systems on Tuesday. One's going to share Tuesday, one's going to share on Thursday, their actual systems for how they keep track of their contacts and all that good stuff. But those of you who are making contacts now or aspire to make contacts on a day-to-day basis, how are you making them? How are you keeping track of them? Oh, okay. She's showing us her book. Okay, so we got paper. Yay, paper with highlighters. That's fabulous.
I'm paper too.
Okay, so we have paper. So we have lots of paper. All right, so I see Brianne's, and it's well-loved paper. So paper with
spreadsheet.
A spreadsheet. Okay, and so that's the other way, is digital. And really, this is just about you. It's about the best way you find that works for you. I can't tell you what works for Jessie. I can only say what works for Ellen. So there's tracking there. I mean, there's the need is there for tracking, but whether you decide to do it paper or digital is, your choice. What's really nice is once you have and you use a tracking system for a couple of days and you write it down, or you put an Excel spreadsheet together, you have a list to start from each day. And I know for me, sometimes that's one of the biggest hurdles is like, who do I call? Who do I reach out to? Where do I start? And so if you have that book, like so many showed us, or the spreadsheet, you can go to that and pick up where you left off. And you have your notes to kind of guide you. Those fabulous highlight colors all meant something different for those ladies. So they're going to be sharing that with us, and you can come up with your own system, but they're going to share what they're doing with us that's working for them. So it's just not as hard to start when you have that daily, you have that there to open and just eat that frog and do it. And that's really, a big part of getting over that. Like I mentioned, just the hurdle of doing it. Okay, so anybody have any questions about tracking, why we do it? You guys are really quiet, but do you think it's something that's worthwhile, or are you of the mindset that you think you can remember everything? Because I know I can't. My mind is too far gone for that. I have to have it written down. Does anybody else have another system that works really well for them? Okay, I know there's some people that use Google Calendar to do it as well. They'll put their reminders into their Google Calendar. I feel like that just makes my calendar.
Well, Ellen,
yes,
I will say that I do use Google Calendar for certain things.
Mm-hmm.
Like if I'm talking to somebody
mm-hmm.
and they're telling me, in connection or whatever, and they tell me, I'm not interested now, reach out to me in a couple of months.
Okay.
And I'll say, okay, is it okay if I reach out to you in the spring?
Perfect.
I will go ahead and put, like, to me, spring is March. So I'll put March 1st and I put that on my Google Calendar. So because my contacts that I'm making for bookings, I'm basically doing it like now. So that will pop up for me in Google Calendar to tell me to reach out to that person. So I'll remember them, because if I put them down in my book 6 months later, I'm not going to remember to reach back out to them.
Right.
So that's how I remember somebody who says, reach out to me in the future.
Good. Good. I always go directly for a month. Instead of just saying spring, I say, can I call you? Can I reach out to you in April? And then I know to put it on my calendar for April 1st. In my tracking book, I have towards the back of it, I have I have a page for January, February, March, April, May, June, blah, blah. And so then I will put that person's name in under April, if that's what they, if that's when I agreed to reach out to them. And then I'll put a little asterisk referencing when I contacted them the last time, so that then I can say to them, hey, Sally, I promised you I would reach out to you in April about that party you wanted to get, on the calendar. And I wanted to make sure I was following through on what I said. Can we get, that booked with you? And share the host special and things like that. So that's a way to do that if you are using a paper notebook, as well as, you could do it with Google as well. I put in my Google Calendar, when it's time for me to follow up, I put the 222 reminders into my Google Calendar so that that's there. So when I close a party, I put that I reach out to people at the first contact I make during the party, but then the 2-week contact I put in my Google Calendar, and I just put the host's name and the date that I want to contact that party. And I put FU number 2. So it's just easy for me, but and then at the 2-month mark, I put FU number 3 so that I know that that's the third follow-up.
As long as my name doesn't have FU next to it.
Well, no. But then you put them into my paper notebook. Once I make that second contact, I put that into my notebook, because then at that point I roll my customer connections and customer service up into my contact notebook. I know there's some people who separate it, but I can't have that many notebooks. There's just too much to keep track of. But again, this is your own system. So you figure out what works best for you. And it may be trial and error. Start something, and if you don't like it, you can change it.
That's such a good point, Ellen, trial and error. I think the main takeaway here is what you're seeing, like all of your leaders have a tracking system. You saw like Shannon holding up her paper, and we know Brianne has the same one, Ellen, myself, Tara. Successful people track. So if you are not tracking, start right now. It's never too late. And like Ellen said, keep it simple, because it's something you have to keep up, and just, it doesn't matter, but do it and do your follow-ups, and you will be successful.
And I have to point out, trial and error is what is going to work, because I have tried so many different systems for keeping track of my contacts. And it was some of these really elaborate ones that seemed really, really cool, but then it was way too much for me to keep up with.
Yep.
And I've just basically gotten one book, and it is like from beginning to end. And each day I have my little lines that I put in there, and that's where I keep track of it.
Yep.
So I found that this is like, I don't even know, like the 10th or 12th one that I've tried. And this is the only one that's working for me. So.
And like Anna was saying, the follow-up is huge. I can't tell you how many times I followed up with somebody and they thanked me because they had forgotten to message me back. Mm-hmm. And I've gotten parties off of that. So the follow-up is huge. So make sure you're doing that.
Yeah. I would say probably 75% of my bookings that I make through my contacts are on the second or third contact. Because they're like, oh, I was in the line at the grocery store and I read that and I totally forgot. So Don't assume that you're annoying them. Just, you know, assume that they're very busy and you're helping them remember. So then that leads us to stats to show, stats show that we need to make between 10 and 12 contacts to secure one booking. Is that accurate, leaders? Am I on the right track around there? I mean, give or take. There's always a margin of error, but give or take. Okay, so yesterday, a lot of you all chimed in and shared how many bookings you wanted to get for the remaining part of February and March. So now's the time for you to stop and think about the numbers that you wrote and how many people that may mean that you're going to need to contact to try to secure that number of bookings, because you've set that goal. You don't want to go back on it, you know, because that's what you want for your dream and your vision. So you just have to figure out how many contacts are you going to need to make to do it. And that number is going to be different for everybody because everybody's goals are different. But 10 to 12 on average to get that one booking. You may luck out and get more, but you know, that's a place to start and to kind of gauge from. All right, so it is 8:57 and we are right on time. I'm so excited. So we're gonna spend, because Tara, can you get that slide queued up? We're gonna spend the next 20 minutes coming up with what they refer to in DASH as our name storming. So instead of brainstorming, I thought that was really cute. They use they call it name storming, and they have our launch list. I didn't know how many of you would be able to print a launch list before we got started. Tara has a slide that she's going to show you, and it has basically all of the categories that are on our launch list. Friends, neighbors, relatives, coworkers, holiday card list recipients, digital contacts, community connection, kids connections, and partner connections. So what I really want us to do is spend the next 20 minutes, and I will set a timer on my phone, making a list, because as we talked about, one of the biggest hurdles of starting to make your contacts is, where do I begin? So by spending 20 minutes this evening making this list, and you just pull out a piece of paper, I ask you guys to bring paper and pen, pull out a piece of paper. If you already have a launch list, that's awesome, but there's probably some names you can add. If you feel really strongly about your launch list, start making contacts. But if you feel like your launch list could use revisiting, then go ahead and start building it and filling in those names. I would look for 5 names for in each category or more over this 20-minute period, and then you're going to have a list of people that you can start contacting tomorrow, whenever it works for you in the day, but you're going to make the commitment to make those contacts. Okay, so we'll leave this slide up. If that's okay, Tara, we can mute everybody, and then I will set a timer, and I will wave when our time is up.
That's totally fine. Hey, I just want to shout out, if you've been with the company for a while and you've already gone through, like you've done this several times, and you have you've already gone through all of these people, and you need some more contacts, go back to your past parties and go back, you know, to your virtual parties and look at some of the customers that have been in there, and maybe some of the rock star customers that you've had, or even the people that were in your parties that you didn't reach out to. You can bring your party list up on Consultant Corner or Consultant Connection, either one, and take a look at them and go through your customers that way. Because we sometimes forget, sometimes things fall through the crack. And so if you've, like I said, if you've gone through these and you need some extra people, or you're looking for those extra contacts, your customer list is where you should go.
Mm-hmm.
All right. I'm doing it too, Ellen, so thank you.
Oh, no problem. I am too.
All
All
right.
right. So I'm starting the timer.
All right. I'm gonna
Let's go. Okay. All right, everybody. That was 20 minutes. It goes fast, doesn't it? Okay. So I, in all my running of my mouth, forgot to mention ahead of time that we were going to ask everybody for their number of names that they were able to name storm. So if anybody wants to share their number, they can. You don't have to. I won't put you on the spot since I forgot to tell you. But if anybody wants to speak up and let us know. I'm thinking this button will let me. Okay, yeah, let me see it. Anybody want to share?
Well, I got 23.
Woohoo! Good job. All right. Excellent. Anybody else?
63.
Whoa. All right, Lynn. There to you. Okay. All right. Those are great.
Start bullying now.
What'd you say, Gus, or what?
Start bullying now.
Oh, gosh, well, no, we're not going to bully people. We don't want to bully. We want to. All right. Okay. Well, good. Well, thank you so much. I appreciate you guys taking the time to do that. Okay. So let me find my notes. 4, 5. Okay. All right. So as I mentioned, Tara, did you want to say something?
Yeah. Lynn, I got you beat. I got 74.
Okay. Well, some overachievers on the line. I didn't quite make that many, but or find that many, but that's good. That is excellent. So we all, the goal of this was that everybody tomorrow morning, you would have, or whenever you're going to do these tomorrow, you would have a place to start. And so it wouldn't be like, oh, who am I going to contact? What am I going to do? You would have this list and you could pull it out and just do it, like Nike says. So the next step is for you to commit to some time to getting this done. And you have to figure out when that's going to fit into your schedule. As I mentioned earlier, we are going to have 2 guests in our group. They're going to go Facebook Live, Shannon and Brianne. Thank you so much, ladies, to share on Tuesdays and Thursdays how they're doing things. So as you're moving through making your contacts, you can look at what they're doing and maybe tweak what you're doing. But if what you're doing is working fine, then don't rock the boat. But it's just a way to share other systems and other ideas. So we are going to make this a little bit fun and have a bookings competition. So for every booking that you get from now, and these are new bookings, from now until February 16th, I think is what we said, because we meet again on the 17th, you will get a ticket entered into a drawing. So if you get 10 bookings, then you're going to get 10 tickets. If you get 5 bookings, you'll get 5 tickets. And then Tara will do a drawing at the next meeting next Monday, and we will draw 2 names, and each of those people, might be the same person, but who knows, 2 names, will get one of the new spring products. So you'll have some tools to use when you do those virtual parties or in-home parties to add on top of hopefully what everybody was able to get and score for a free-for-all. So remember, those are new bookings from now until the 16th. All right.
I should point out that that is for consultants only. Sorry, directors. You guys should be doing this anyway.
Sorry. See, there you go. I didn't know that. Okay. So, I mean, I yes. Okay. Good that you said that, Tara. Okay. So, all right. So questions before we wrap it up? No? All right, so I hope everybody got something useful this evening. And, you know, I didn't bore you all to death with my rambling. But thank you for joining. Thank you for your commitment. Don't forget your dream and your vision for your business. Think about why you joined, why you got your kit, why you wanted to start your business, and that hopefully will move you forward to make those contacts, make the time to make those contacts. And I think we'll probably have some check-ins throughout the week where maybe you take pictures of your, whatever your system is, so we can kind of see what you're doing. And if anyone has any questions, just drop them in the group and one of us will handle them.
And we also, oops, bless you, Anna, sorry. we also agreed that we were going to share some suggested wordings
Oh, yes.
in the
Yeah.
group.
Yes, those are already scheduled. So they're coming
Okay.
up at 9:40 and 9:45. So you'll be able to get started. And one of them I got from Anna and one of them I got from somebody else. So you can change them, tweak them, make them sound like you, but it gives you some place to start.
Awesome. Thank you, Ellen.
Oh, you're
I'm going to
welcome.
go ahead and stop recording. And let me see.